Or do we know for sure Lloyd has hair, that it's not sewn into his hat?
Can you guys hear us now? I think I fixed it. Look at his little tiny bits of hair. He looks so much younger.
When you have your hair cut short and then you have hat head, it makes for some really nasty hair. I was gonna style my hair for today, but I decided not to. So there we are.
Lloyd was gonna style his hair. Ooh. Well, what you guys just missed. You know what? I'll let you tell him if you want.
Oh yeah, it's my birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, it's his birthday.
That's what we were talking about.
It is my birthday. We were muted and they couldn't hear us. How old are you?
I am 30-something Stadia's old.
What?
Stadia's not a year old yet. Never mind. I was thinking of something else. No, I'm 44. I will be 44. I was like, Stadia's a year and a half old, so I'm like 30-something. Or
wait a second.
28. But that's not right.
Did you say 44?
Yeah.
You're older than I am?
I'm like a couple months older than you.
I spent this whole time thinking that I was older than him because he looks so young. Maybe it's just because I look so old.
We had this conversation and I was like, I know I'm older than you, but I look way younger because I have a baby face. So that's why I have facial hair. Because if I shave, I look like I'm 20 and I get carded wherever I go. So that's why I have facial hair. That's one of the reasons why I have facial hair.
Ah, I gotcha. I have facial hair to hide my shame. It's this right here. That and my wife likes that I have facial hair. Like if I shaved my facial hair, she would be unhappy with me.
Yeah, I'm the same way. My wife hates me with a beard and she hates me with no hair. So I'm just like, do you even like the way I look? Is what I ask her. And she laughs and laughs and never answers the question. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that is all about.
That's great. I love it. That makes me laugh. Oh man, are you ready to record an MP3, my friend?
Yeah, I'm trying to clean my glasses. They're all filthy.
Vaxer saying whenever I shave my beard, I look really young, and he's right. I do. I have a baby face too, but I don't know if it's that I have a baby face or that it's just so different from when I have a beard that everybody just assumes that I have a baby face.
Weird.
I don't know. Let me see. I gotta see if I can find a picture of me. You know what? It's not important. Let's make an MP3 so I can go take a nap or something because I'm feeling really old today.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pause the music and we're gonna do an MP3, everybody.
See what it is. Stupid Wabbit and Consino. The problem is I live in Canada, so the cold air has frozen my skin, so I don't age. That's what happened.
But here's the thing: is I practically live in Canada as well. Like literally, if I drove for, I would say 30 minutes, I would be in Canada. Not your part of Canada, more close to. I'm about 5
Quebec.
hours from Toronto. Yeah, I'm closer to Quebec.
Nice. Yeah. Nice.
Close enough that when I watch Letterkenny, it hits it hits close to home. All right.
Yeah, Toronto's pretty. That part of Ontario can be pretty hicky. So yeah, Letterkenny would be very, very close.
It is. It is exactly what it's like where I live. All right, let's make a thing.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, I have to hit record. All right, I'm recording. Now I'm going to make a thing. Welcome back, everyone, to Stadiacast. I'm Bill. That's Lloyd. How's it going, Lloyd?
It is going pretty darn well. How about you?
I can't complain. Before we get started on the show, this is the show where you come to get all of the Stadiacast news that you need. We record the show live every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. So if you aren't doing anything and you're sitting around and you're wondering, I wonder what Bill and Lloyd are up to. Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. This is what we're up to. Come hang out with us over at youtube.com/Stadiacast. If you want to directly support the show, it's super easy to do. If you're here with us live, you can use that super chat feature. We collect all the super chats and we put them in at the end of the show. We respond to each and every one of them. So we want to say thank you to everybody who's done that. And if you are here either live or after the fact and you want to support the show, there is a join button down below where you can become a member and get early access to some of the videos that we post, as well as a dedicated channel that is only for supporters that is on our Discord, which you can find over at runjumpstomp.com/Discord. And I want to say thank you to Sean Davies because they became a member yesterday and we didn't even do anything. So thank you very much for that. Well, awesome. That being said, let's get started. Lloyd, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a fair bit. I'm back into Doom Eternal, making my way through that game. I think I'm a couple missions away from completing it finally. I got to a point with that game where I was stuck in a room and I would spawn and a bunch of like the mini boss type things would spawn and I would die and then I'd respawn and I'd try differently and I would die and I'd respawn and I'd try yet differently. I would die and then I'd say, okay, that's enough Doom for now. And I'd put it down and I'd try again in a couple days. And I was just like, you know what? I'm done not being able to get through this level. Like I should be able to beat it. It's not even that hard, but for some reason I just was unable to do it. So I then went and turned it down to the easiest setting, which I was playing on the third setting, whatever that was, and I put it down to can I play daddy or whatever the easiest setting is. And I beat it, and I've been making my way through it, and I feel a little bit OP now, which is a good feeling after dying repeatedly to the same monsters, and been enjoying it. They have the what is it? Not the Nemesis system, but when someone else dies.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what it's called, but it's awesome. Go ahead, describe it, and I'm sure chat will tell us what it's called.
So if Bill dies to, say, I don't know, a Kako demon or something, there's a chance that demon will then appear in someone else's game with the name saying killed run, jump, stomp. And then if you kill that demon, you get a whole pile. Like you get pretty much a full recharge of health, armor, and full recharge of health and weapon ammo and some armor by killing that demon. So empowered demon. Thanks, Mike, in the chat room. So that has made it even more fun going through it that way. So yeah, I'm really loving Doom Eternal right now. It's been a heck of a lot of fun. I want to finish it. It's a game that I should have beat a while ago, but it just got buried underneath other things that I was playing. So now it's good to get back to it and feel a little bit a little bit OP, which is always a good thing in games like that.
Yeah, there's two things that you hit on that I want to talk about real quick. First off is getting stuck. Right now I am stuck in level 6 of Doom 64. Not because the enemies keep killing me, but I just can't figure out what to do next. Like I can't find the button, and I'm going to have to. This would be the perfect time for me to be able to hold down the button and say, how do I finish this, so that they, right. They would show me a video, but they don't have that feature in yet. So I'm stuck on there. And then another thing is, recently we were talking about Doom, which we do a lot because that game is just amazing. But recently we were talking about Doom, and I was kind of complaining that, or not complaining, but I was wishing that they had a more Diablo-like mode where after you finish, you could just go in and do stuff. And apparently they do, and I didn't notice that. I loaded it up the other day, and there is a mode, which I wasn't planning on talking about it today, so I forgot. I forgot what it's called. But basically, it's like master levels or something like that, and you go in and they just remix the levels so that it's different than it was the last time that you go through. And I think that that's really awesome. Go ahead.
I said that's interesting. I haven't found that. Maybe that only opens when you beat the game. There you go.
It only shows up after you finish the game. So I thought that that was really cool, and it gives a little more replay value. Not that I feel like I kind of said that Doom doesn't have a lot of replay value, but I can see people going through, if you just need to get a quick fix of some crazy fast-paced gameplay with some awesome heavy metal music in the background. Doom is the way to go. It's so fantastic.
Right.
What else have you been playing?
Besides Doom, a little tiny bit of Assassin's Creed, not too much. I've been staying clear of that. A little bit of Doom 64, just playing through that. It's like $5, so I had to pick that one up to check out. But then, of course, I've been playing Ember. I put up my first look of Ember. I've been doing a couple videos for kind of a let's play. I'm not going to do a full entire let's play of the game, but I wanted to show off a little bit more of the game for people that are wondering if this is a game that they want to pick up. And I've been really enjoying it. It definitely feels early accessy. There's a lot of rough edges, and some of the controls, they feel a little bit janky. And I know some of the controls are supposed to feel that way. Like it's supposed to have a like a job simulator kind of feel to it, where you're doing things and they're supposed to be hard to do, but they're not supposed to be impossible to do. So that's been a little bit interesting. I still have to get into some multiplayer games, but I'm really enjoying it. It's been a lot of fun. It's not quite what I expected the game to be. I don't really know what I expected the game to be, but it's definitely a lot more arcadey than I thought it would be, and it's been a heck of a lot of fun.
For Ember, I feel like there's two sides to this game. The one side I get really excited about, and then the other side I get incredibly frustrated with. And I don't think that it has anything to do with. I mean, yes, it is a little janky because it is early access, and that whole thing. Maybe we can talk about that early access controversy in a little bit, but the whole thing is physics based, and I find that games that have physics based engines feel really poor to control, especially in a first person setting. And as I was playing this game, I kept saying, oh, I don't like the way it plays. I don't like the way it plays. And it finally clicked with me. The reason I don't like it is because it reminds me of, and I told you I would forget the name of the game. What was the name?
Neighbor.
Yes, it reminds me of Hello Neighbor. And Hello Neighbor is another one of those games where it has a cool core to it. It's like this horror game, but not really a horror game. It's a stealth game. But it's a first-person game, and I just don't like the way that the character controls. I tried playing it. Like, my son loves Hello Neighbor and Human Fall Flat and games like that, and Totally Reliable Delivery Service, and they all have that same feel to the controls. And when I picked up Ember, I was like, oh, this is so disappointing. Not because it's a bad game, but because it's using a control scheme that I just don't like. And it kind of drives me batty. But then there's the other side where it's like, it's it's a firefighting game, which is incredibly unique. And then you have these ways that you can upgrade your character by buying different nozzles for the hose, so that you can either push things further or not push them as far. You can grab like water grenades, door breaching kits. You can upgrade your axe so it doesn't have as many hits before it breaks down a door. And all of those things seem incredibly cool. So they have all of this stuff that I am really excited about, and then they've wrapped it around this control scheme that I find absolutely infuriating. But I think that says more about me than it does about the game itself. And I think that if you like Hello Neighbor, if you like Totally Reliable Delivery Service, if you like Human Fall Flat, you're going to feel right at home with Ember. But there's something in my brain that says, nope, I don't like the way it controls, and it drives me up the wall.
Yeah, one thing to note about the game is it's definitely made for multiplayer. Like it you can play it single player, but when you get to some of the later levels, there's no way that you can get up to the people that are on, say, a higher floor because it's just too much fire. So they die before you even have a chance to get up there. So it's like, okay, this game is definitely made for multiplayer where you all hit the like the stairs together. Everyone's spraying, everyone, some people are hanging back, some people are going forward, and people are pressing to get up to the top floor to rescue the people up there first. That is not possible in single player. So you'll have to be okay with not rescuing everybody in some of the levels, until maybe you have to unlock all of the equipment. Maybe once you have a fully upgraded set of equipment, you can get all the way up there. But I've noticed that it's almost impossible for me to do. But again, the game is fun for just the ridiculous stuff that happens. Like, I remember, I think it was either my first look or one of my let's plays. I was like, okay, let's see if I can throw this person from this awning to the mattresses that are waiting below, and they just miss the mattresses, and then they hit the ground, they turn to skeletons, and it's like, oh, guess not. So there's a lot of like weirdness there, and then there's also the whole system of taking stuff from the house and getting money for doing it. But it's like, you don't really get money for doing it. You get an increased tip by rescuing equipment and stuff like that. So there's still going to be more for me to kind of figure out what's happening. What is the best way to attack these levels to gain the cash that I need to then start upgrading all my equipment. But what is there, because it is early access, so they are going to be, over the next year, they're going to be upgrading things. They're going to be changing systems. They're going to be adding content. They're going to be polishing it. I hope that I hope that you need to, or sorry, I hope that they fix things, and that the amount of content will bring the game up to the level where a lot of people are playing it, so that there's a lot of multiplayer sessions. Because I can tell that this game is going to be the best when you play multiplayer, and it's always my worry about games that are in early access, that the love for it will fade, and then there'll be no one to play multiplayer with. So it'll be interesting. This is a first on Stadia, the first early access game, so we're gonna have to see what happens as we make our way through the coming 12 months of content for this game. But it is kind of cool that Stadia is doing early access. It allows for more freedom for developers. They can get basically an upfront of cash to continue development on their game. But there is also some interesting caveats where they say that if the game is not completed, it'll be removed from your library before the end of it. So it's like, okay, you bought a game, but do you get to keep it? Like, there's all these unknowns so far with the system. But it's not a bad thing that Google is looking to innovate in that regard. It's not that this is the first place that early access has been done, but they're willing to let developers do what they want to do on their platform, which I think is a good thing for Stadia as a platform.
Yeah, I think that we should take a moment and talk about this idea that early access games, like there was, and I forgot to put it in the show notes, but there was a disclaimer on Google's site under the early access thing that basically says, if the developer doesn't finish the game, then it may, and I want to make sure that I stress the may, because they didn't say it will, they said it may be removed. And
Yep.
the way, like, a lot of people were very upset about that. And actually, I was kind of irritated about it too. And then I thought, well, I mean, I have games that have closed down in the past. Like, as somebody who's played massively multiplayer online games as their favorite genre, I've run into this many times. Asheron's Call 2, which was funny because Asheron's Call 2 got shuttered before Asheron's Call did, because it did so poorly. Anarchy Online, Star Wars Galaxies. There's just been Marvel Heroes. There's been game after game after game where I have bought these games, and then eventually they shut the servers down and I can't play them anymore. And to be honest, by the time that happened, I was pretty much done playing them anyway, so it wasn't really that big of a deal to me. And as I thought about it, I thought, okay, it's not that big a deal. But why would they, like, for a game like Ember that doesn't require a separate set of servers. I mean, yeah, it requires servers, but every game on Stadia requires servers. But for a game like
Mhm.
Ember that doesn't require an actual second set of servers, like say Elder Scrolls Online, which we will talk about soon. Um, uh, like, why would they shut it off? Why wouldn't they just say, okay, the last build that they developed, that's
Yep.
the build that you guys get, and you can keep it? And that's what I assume would happen. And they're really just covering their rear ends by saying,
100%.
we can remove this if we need to, like if it's breaking things, if the developer puts out a patch and it's breaking things, and then suddenly they go out of business. What is Google supposed to do? Do you have thoughts on this, Lloyd?
Yeah, well, first, the message that Google has put up on early access stuff says early access games are unfinished products. They may have playability issues, including the potential loss of save progress, may change without notice, may have their content ratings change after purchase, and may not be updated or further completed. Purchase early access games only if you want to play the game in its current state of development. You may lose access to the game if the developer does not finish it. So it just goes back to it's a CYA kind of thing for Google to do, because it could be like a Marvel Heroes thing where Marvel pulls the license, and next thing you know, the game can't happen anymore. Like there's no way to have Marvel Heroes without the Marvel Heroes in it. So if say Ember was sponsored by a company and there was licensed properties in it, and then that company says, yeah, you know what, we're done, we don't want to work with you anymore, Ember would have to shut down, because there's no way that would happen. Of course, Ember doesn't have that type of content in it, but I think it's just a CYA thing from Google. But it did get the internet talking. There was no end of threads and conversations, so that's always an interesting thing, I guess.
Yeah. Other games that I've been playing, I've been playing more Octopath. I don't know if you noticed, Lloyd, but I noticed that a bunch of my Octopath videos have been hit with copyright claims
Yeah.
from the music, which is really, really irritating. So I don't know if I'm going to continue that Let's Play. I may start a Let's Play of something else.
You
And
could just turn off the music.
you
That's
can't.
what I
Oh,
that's what I did. I think
oh,
that's what I did for that. I think I turned down the music volume to nothing, and then I wasn't getting copyright claimed, because I did some streams of that when it first came out on Switch, and yeah, I was getting copyright claimed as well.
okay.
It's really annoying when that happens. Like, I wish, like, if you're not playing like a Tony Hawk that has like a licensed song in it, you'd think that the songs that are playing would be they'd be licensed for playback on YouTube and Twitch, but I guess that's unfortunately not the case.
Yeah. Well, I'm still enjoying Octopath. That game is really, really good. I kept wondering, okay, is there going to be something that the merchant can add to my party that I would be interested in past my other characters? And the answer is yes. And I was very impressed. So I'm looking forward to playing more Octopath. But let's actually switch gears and get to the news. Okay, I lied. Before we get to the news, I've got two things that I want to talk about. We have this week, Lloyd and I have had two interviews with developers for games on Stadia, and I just wanted to mention those so that if you haven't seen those yet or listened to those yet, depending on if you're a podcast listener or a YouTube viewer or both, hey, thank you. We interviewed the developers over at Get Packed, and we interviewed the developers over at Creta. And both of those are on our YouTube channel as well as in the podcast feed. So hopefully you guys enjoyed those, and thank you very much for listening to those. Lloyd, after we've already played Get Packed, so I can't like get more excited after talking to the developer about it. But for Creta,
Yeah.
after talking to Hannah about that game, man, I am really excited for that game. And I was kind of whatever before, and now I'm stoked. Like, she sold me.
Yeah, Hannah was so good. She was fantastic to talk to. Not that everybody else that we've interviewed hasn't been fantastic, but she showed just a level of hype for her own title, which was a little infectious, which was fantastic. The game itself, I've been watching all the videos they've been posting up. Watched a couple with my son the other day, and we are both incredibly psyched for this game. It's, I mean, you can make games with a controller. or you can make games with a PC and a code editor. Like you can get as in the weeds as you want, or you can just throw things together and jump in there and have fun with your friends. The mixture of meshes and voxel allows you to create the environment super quick. I just can't wait to jump in. Like during the interview, I mentioned a couple games that I played a lot of. Disney Infinity. Like I was a huge Disney Infinity fan because my kids were really young at the time when it came out. But it had a toy box mode where you could, by playing the game, you could unlock set pieces from the various Disney and Pixar, and then Marvel, and then Star Wars worlds. So you could have like this cool building from Toy Story or this cool car. And then with version 2, they came out with these little toys which you could link together. So you could have, if you're on a pressure pad, make this thing in the level go up and down. So you could use that as a way to build kind of puzzle levels. So we played so much of that as a family. And it looks like Creta is going to be that for us. So you don't need to get in there and typey on your keyboard to put the code in, because you're going to be able to use your controller to kind of wire things together, similar to what a lot of people did in Disney Infinity and other games like that. So I am so beyond excited for this one. I really hope that this game is well accepted and has a robust community of people playing it, because the ability to get in there, create something just amazing. Like she was talking about one of the developers putting together a physics system for cars. Well, imagine you being an end user, figure something out like that, and then package it up, send it into the content library, and the next thing you know, there's 100 different iterations of your code being used in other games. It's going to be fantastic. I could not be more excited for Creta.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it too. And you brought up Disney Infinity. You don't have to buy plastic figures in order to do all of the stuff, which is really cool. Although I will say this, of all of the Toys to Life stuff, the ones that I thought were the highest quality were the Disney Infinity ones. Like those ones looked really cool. I especially liked the way that the Star Wars characters looked. I kind of wanted a show about Luke and Han and Leia and Chewie. Their adventures between the movies or something that was done in that art style, but we never got that, unfortunately. All right, let's move on and to actually talk about the news. And here's one that I am, I just mentioned a little bit ago that I am a huge MMO fan, and Elder Scrolls Online is finally been rated by the ESRB for Stadia. If you go to esrb.org, you can look at Elder Scrolls Online Greymoor, and the platforms that it is on is officially Mac, Windows, PS4, Stadia, and Xbox One. I'm so excited for this. Like a lot of people are saying, well, this means that we're getting it right away. I don't know. You would think that they would have talked about it more before it comes out. They told us not to expect to hear anything until summer. Like when they announced Greymoor, one of the questions in their Twitch channel was, when are we going to hear about the Stadia version? And they said, we'll talk more about that in summertime, which everybody says, oh, that's E3, right? Well, E3's canceled. So yeah. When are they going to talk about it? And was it going to be one of those things where they're, where somebody's up on stage and they say, and you can download, or not download because it's Stadia, you can start playing right now with no downloads, no patches, no anything. Just grab your controller and start playing. When do you think this is coming out, Lloyd?
I don't know. Like I was checking to see the actual release date, the planned release date for it. So
Elder Scrolls 6th?
Yeah, like it comes out on PC, I think on the 26th. I think that might be like the early access kind of thing on PC. And then it comes out in June for PlayStation and Xbox and PC. So it's May 26th for PC and Mac, and then it's June 9th for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Maybe it'll be June 9th for Stadia. Maybe it'll be May 26th for Stadia, which would be on Tuesday, which would be just an amazing late birthday present for me, because my birthday is on the 25th. So if this came out on the 26th, I would forgive Bethesda for coming out with this a day after my birthday. Everything will be forgiven. because I'll be wanting to jump into this one and play it. I can't wait for this game to come out.
Oh my God. If it comes out on the 26th, I'm going to lose my mind because I need, you know what? My brain needs some lead time to say, okay, you're going to get completely sucked into this game again. Because I started, like, when they announced that it was coming to Stadia, I started playing it again on PC, and I was playing it like nonstop. And then my brain said, you know what? Back off, because you don't know if your character is going to be playable on Google Stadia or if they're going to make you start from scratch. And we still don't know that. I know that back in November, there was a story where somebody from ZeniMax or Bethesda, I can't remember, somebody from that team said, it's just like how Steam users and the regular ESO users play on the same servers. Stadia is going to do that too. And, you know, that sounds awesome, but they haven't said anything else about that. They haven't said anything about whether or not we can use our characters that we've already made. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop playing because I don't want to play a bunch and then have all of that progress get thrown away, because that's already happened to me multiple times on this game, because I have it on PC and it's already happened to me once on this game. I have it on PC, I have it on PS4, and those are not cross-platform. There's no cross-play with Elder Scrolls Online yet. And I'm really, really hoping that Elder Scrolls Online gets cross-play with Stadia, because if it doesn't, I worry that it's going to be really, really difficult to get a group together or to get a raid together. Like, I think that that's going to be a huge issue for this game if they don't have crossplay. And if they have crossplay with PC, it's going to be fantastic. But right now, none of the consoles talk to each other, and PC doesn't talk to any of the consoles. Go ahead.
Yeah, there was a Forbes article from November that was an interview with Bethesda saying that Elder Scrolls Online will be crossplay with PC, Mac, and Google Stadia. Whether that makes its way to launch, we don't know. It's just an early thing from November, but it was just a spokesperson from Bethesda. So this isn't like an official press release that I've seen, just something from Forbes. So if that turns out to be the case, maybe cross progression with either the PC servers or Mac servers, that would be fantastic. But even if it's just crossplay, if I'm able to partner up with you because you're playing on PC and I'm playing on Stadia, that's gonna just increase the number of people that are in your game exponentially, which will be great. Because even on consoles, it's a low user base sometimes.
It is, and like I'm playing on PS4, which is actually my preferred way to play, is because the controller works great. It's a great game for playing with a controller instead of a mouse keyboard. Of course, you can play with a controller on PC. But B, on PS4, I don't know if it's on the regular PS4, but on the PS4 Pro, it has HDR. And playing that game in HDR looks beautiful. All of the colors just pop, and it just looks absolutely gorgeous. And screenshots do not do that game justice, because the screenshots, when you look at Elder Scrolls Online, they all look kind of trashy. When you are actually playing it, especially with HDR on, you're like, wow, that's beautiful. And after playing it on PS4 with HDR, I ended up not wanting to play on PS4 anymore because it was so hard to find a group. Like, if I wanted to do a dungeon, unless I was a tank or a healer, it was impossible to find a group. You had, like, if you were a DPS character, you were waiting for hours because there were so few groups, because there's no crossplay between Xbox and PS4. And most of the time, I say cross progression is far more important than crossplay. But for a game like this that depends on multiplayer interaction and a large pool of people to pull from, I think crossplay is more important than progression. And, you know, me being able to join a party where people are playing on PC and I'm playing on Stadia, that's very important to me. And, you know, fingers crossed that ZeniMax and Bethesda get this right.
Yeah, 100%. Like this is the game that I'm most excited for on Stadia that we know is coming, because I want to see how it plays. The the thought that I can jump into ESO and not have to download 100 gigs of content to whatever console or PC I'm playing it on makes me incredibly happy. If I can just jump in, go take my little sneaky thief out, shoot some people with arrows, and then go about my business. I'm so excited for it. But we'll see what happens. There's been people in the chat room saying maybe this will be a free pro game for June. Maybe we'll get the base game, not the Greymore add-on, but the base game as a freebie. That would do well to increase the player base on Stadia if it's not cross-play. But even if it is cross-play, that would be a fantastic move. So I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I absolutely agree that would be a smart move by Bethesda ZeniMax, is for them to give that game away for the base game, because first off, there's tons of content. You get people hooked, and then they're going to be like, oh, wait a second, I can go to Skyrim on this. Yes, please. So that would be huge. All right, speaking of things that we are excited for, we have another game that I don't know if Lloyd's excited for, but I am. Before we talk about that, though, we're going to take a quick break, hear from a sponsor, and then when we come back, it's time to get serious.
Let the Radio Shack TRS-80 put the world of color computing into your home.
All right, we are back, and can you believe that segue? I'm going to ruin the segue by talking about it.
Oh, it was so good, so good. Hat tip to you, my friend.
All right, let's hear what is the game that I'm talking about, Lloyd?
Well, Serious Sam 4. Sam is back, folks. But Serious Sam 4 is coming to Stadia and Steam, but it's coming to Stadia as the only console you'll be able to play Serious Sam on will be Stadia, because it's a closed system. So we like calling it a console here sometimes. That is pretty exciting. The trailer that they're showing off, it's just a big cinematic. It looks beautiful. If the game looks close to that, it'll be pretty fantastic. But what I'm really hoping is that this is going to be more Serious Sam 1 and 2 and less Serious Sam 3, which tried to be all dude bro and gross and action settings. I hope it's more like the first game, which is just big open environments of hundreds of enemies rushing at you. So I'm pretty excited for this one.
Well, so there is other footage that looks like actual gameplay. Like you get to see Sam's first person view of the game as like the whatever those little bony looking skeleton horse dudes are. Like there were a bunch of them running at him on a bridge, and he's just mowing them down with a chain gun. But you know, the things that they were talking, first off, so I have barely played the Serious Sam games at all. I played the first one a tiny bit because it was free on Stadia, and so I was like, why the hell not, right? And what I played, I was like, that's a really cool 90s style shooter. I don't have time for it right now, so I didn't really put any time into it. But that thing that you just said, hundreds of enemies on the screen. So what they are saying, who is it, Crow Team that makes this?
Yep.
Yeah, Crow Team is saying thousands of enemies on the screen at the same time and 4-player co-op. So what does that sound like to you, man?
That sounds like a big Stadiacast community night. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I can't wait. I really can't wait.
I have to say, what I've seen, like I said, it looks like gameplay. I don't know why they didn't show any of it, but it looks like gameplay, and it looks really, really gorgeous. Then, of course, they did show like one, obviously a CGI thing where it had thousands of enemies on the screen. I'm having trouble picturing how a game works with thousands of enemies on screen. Like, what are you supposed to do against that? You know what I mean? They did mention some of the weapons. Go ahead.
You shoot them all. That's what you do, Bill. Come on.
I have to say, as I was going through the weapons that they were talking about, they have a chainsaw launcher in the game, which sounds fantastic. I'm excited for this. And the more, like, I've been playing a lot of shooters lately, and I've never really been that guy that's been super into shooters, at least not since, like, Unreal Tournament 2004. You know, I've never been a shooter guy. I've played some shooters, mostly story-based shooters, or things like Overwatch or Unreal Tournament 2004. But this is I'm pretty excited for this, and all of the shooters that I've been playing has gotten me even more excited for Serious Sam 4. But I do hope that they don't go overboard on the dude bro nonsense. I know that that's kind of their shtick, but I'm hoping that they don't do that. The subtitle, I don't know if they got rid of it, but Serious Sam 4 used to be called Serious Sam 4 Planet Badass. So, maybe there's too much dude bro stuff in there for me, but only time will tell. So I'm looking forward to it, though.
I sent you a video in the Discord chat that shows off the Serious Sam Legion system, which purports to get 100,000 enemies on the screen at once. So there's this time code at 45 seconds, or I guess it's all the way back to about 40 seconds if you want to bring it up on screen or whatever.
Trying.
That just shows a huge number of enemies and a little like kind of flying cam that goes over top of it. This is the most movable characters on a screen that I've ever seen at once. I'm excited to see how this all plays out. It's just going to be stupid fun, which the first couple Serious Sams were like Serious Sam 3. I mean, it was fun at the time because that's the type of games that were coming out with like huge story driven and set pieces and things like that. But there was something just crazy fun with the original Serious Sam Part 1 and 2, where you're just running through areas and hundreds of enemies are coming at you. You increase that a couple orders of magnitude, and you have 100,000 enemies on the screen and 4 players running at them. I can't wait. I can't wait to check this one out.
See, this video, because I did a video about the Serious Sam 4, and I included footage from this video in it. And this is the video that I mentioned a minute ago, and I just assumed this was cutscene. You think that this is like what it would look like in the game?
Yeah, because they showed off there. This is a whole video of them talking about the Legion system they designed for this engine, which can have over 100,000 active enemies in the game at one time. A lot of them would obviously be far away, but at least they're there and then they're coming at you. So yeah, I'm eager to check this one out, man. I think this will be a lot of fun, and the fact that it is Stadia exclusive for a period of time, and Steam, is going to be interesting.
Right. Do we know if they're going to have crossplay? I don't remember.
I was looking for that. I can't see. I would assume so. If it's between PC and Stadia, it would just make sense. But I haven't seen that announced anywhere. At least I might have missed it if it was announced.
Yeah, most of the time it's the console manufacturers that kind of get in the way of crossplay because they have so many restrictions. And we know that Google is like, we love crossplay. We want crossplay for obvious reasons because they're the smaller group of people. So smaller group of people always wants crossplay. The larger ones tend not to, but Steam never gets in the way either. So I really hope Crow Team brings crossplay to Serious Sam 4. I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited for it. All right, so this is an important PSA that I want to make sure that everybody knows about. This comes from the Stadia community blog. And so back in April, I'm just going to read you exactly what it says, okay? It says, "Hey, everyone. In early April, we announced that everyone who signs up for Stadia within 14 countries, so that's the countries that Stadia is available in, will receive 2 months of Stadia Pro. On June 3rd, we will be changing our current Stadia Pro offer from 2 free months to 1 free month for new users. Anyone who signs up for Stadia on or after June 3rd will receive 1 free month of Stadia Pro. So if you haven't already signed up, head over to stadia.com prior to June 3rd and claim your 2 free months. As a Pro subscriber, you will receive instant access to 12 games, including PUBG, Zombie Army 4, Destiny 2, and Guilt. Signing up and playing games on Stadia is simple. Go to stadia.com to find out more. I really like that they are letting people know about this ahead of time. Like, This was posted 3 days ago. I totally missed it, by the way, because I was so busy editing the interviews and stuff that we were doing and doing my Nintendo show. And it was just, I was way too busy and I missed this. But I like that they're telling people about this ahead of time instead of on June 3rd saying, by the way, now it's just 1 month. I feel like that's just good marketing by telling everybody ahead of time. God, signing up for this for no other reason but just to play Guilt is worth it. Guilt is an awesome game. I love that game. There's a bunch of other really good games in the pro membership. But if you haven't signed, listen, everybody who's listening to us probably has already signed up. But, you've got friends who maybe they haven't. So make sure that you let them know about this. What do you think about this move, Lloyd?
I think it totally makes sense. They gave everybody 2 free months because of COVID as kind of the soft launch for Stadia coming out of its sort of closed access system that they had with friend codes and whatnot. So this totally makes sense. There's a lot of hate for this online. Like, my God, you're having issues, Stadia. Why are you taking stuff away from people? And it's just like, whoa, what the hell? Like that. No other service gives you 2 months for free. Every service gives you 1 month for free or 1 week for free. So I still think Google is doing the right thing, saying if you're a new user, you get a free month, taking away the second month which was a bonus for people that were trapped at home. I don't understand the hate for it, but the internet is oftentimes a fun place to read.
Yeah, you're right. People think. Why do people always think that you're taking away? It's free stuff. They're not obligated to give you free stuff. Oh my God, Jem in chat is saying GeForce Now gives you free game removals. I don't think that's really GeForce Now's fault. That's the publishers being jerks, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, though. I still think that Stadia needs to give out a free month when you buy a controller. So if I buy a controller, it comes with a free month. And even if I'm already a subscriber, just give me a free month to apply to my account. I bet you'll sell more controllers. I think that would push more controllers out. And the more controllers that are out there, the better experience people are having. Because for me, and I can't speak for you, Lloyd, but for me, the Stadia controller is the best experience for Google Stadia, in my opinion. Would you agree with that?
100%. Yeah, it's the most comfortable way to play the game for sure. I've played it with an Xbox, and I think I tried my PlayStation 4 controller as well. And it works, but it just feels right when you're playing with the Stadia controller without any wires or anything. It's just a great experience.
All right, we did get a UI update. This is funny. I saw on Reddit people were complaining about the fact that when you go to stadia.com and it brings up, it says, what does it say? It says like store and
home. It has the S, home, and then store. And so you go to stadia.google.com and you want to go to the store and you're waiting 15 seconds because you get that little stupid pop-up saying your headphones connected. That I always shook my head when that happened.
Right, because it was covering things up, and so somebody complained about that, and the next day, it was fixed. Or I don't know that it was fixed, but it was changed, which I thought was pretty impressive. Like, that's really, really fast turnaround time. Now, of course, it could be that they were planning on fixing that anyway, right? But they made that change, and I think that's great. So I hope that Google hears all of our pleas about the UI, which, in my opinion, the UI definitely needs work. I like the theme of the UI, but it needs work. There are many things that I've complained about that need to be fixed or changed with the UI that that kind of drive me crazy. Is there anything about the UI that makes Lloyd pull his freshly cut hair out?
No, thank goodness, because I can't afford to lose any more of it. I just got all of it cut off. It's good. Oh, sorry, Bill. Apparently some things are really affecting you. No, the other UI issue that I had was when basically what happens is when you go to stadia.google.com, your last played game is right there front and center. Well, they never had a black bar at the top of the screen. So if your last game that you played was Assassin's Creed, there's clouds underneath where it says home and store, so you couldn't really even see the text, which was just really annoying. It's like it didn't bother me because I knew that the icons were there, or I knew that the links were there to click. But I can imagine if you were someone that didn't know that, and you're like, well, where did my store button go? So now there's a black bar at the top of the screen, at least on the web, the web version. I think all that stuff needs to come to Chromecast and other things as well. But yeah, that two little changes, two little tweaks. That was actually one of the tweaks from Stadia Plus that I really liked, that it would put the bar at the top. So it's good that Google kind of copied that, and that is permanent on their website now.
You know, as a MMO player, World of Warcraft did this so well. They put out the mod, or they said build your mods in Lua. And so people would make Lua mods, and then somebody would make something really, really cool, and Blizzard would say, okay, let's integrate that idea as to part of the default UI. And I always thought that was a really, really smart way to get ideas, because when you have millions of people coming up with your ideas for you, you're going to get more good ideas. There's going to be a lot of bad ideas, but you're going to get a lot more good ideas faster than if you just do it yourself. Yep. I think that that's really good, and I'm looking forward to having a more consistent experience playing across web browser and Chromecast, and maybe eventually phones as well. I know some people are playing on phones, but as an iPhone guy, I'm still not, which makes me sad. But I think that that's a really good change.
100%.
All right.
100%.
Yes. So last thing for today, and then we'll get to crowd play, is I don't play this game, and do you play Mortal Kombat?
I have. I picked it up on Switch, which was a very bad decision on my part to pick it up on there as the place to play it, because it was not good on the Nintendo Switch. I'm actually excited for this update, which is kind of it's a bundle of all of the DLC that came out and new DLC. It's called Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, and that'll be coming out on the 26th of May, which is fantastic, including RoboCop, of all people, to include in your game.
You know, I love God. I wish that I was interested in playing Mortal Kombat, because I love that they've got these crazy characters like RoboCop and the Terminator. I would love to get the Alien, or the Xenomorph from the Alien series in there. I would love to have the Predator. Don't they have the Ninja Turtles, or is that some other game? What game am I thinking of?
You're thinking of what's the name of that game? It's the Xbox fighting game.
Yeah, I wouldn't be Mortal Kombat, because the Turtles wouldn't like that kind of.
Can't remember.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I like the idea that they're bringing all of these fighters in. I know that it's not like Smash, where it's a celebration of all things video games, but I love when they are having this weird mishmash of a bunch of different IP from movies and stuff like that. I think that that's just really, really cool. I'm not, like, when I was watching the video for this, I was like, oh, that's really gross. I don't think that makes it more fun. And that's always kind of been the thing for Mortal Kombat. I haven't played a Mortal Kombat since Mortal Kombat 3. Like, I played Mortal Kombat 2 in the arcade forever. I loved that game. In fact, I prefer, back in the day, I preferred Mortal Kombat's combat system to the combat system in Street Fighter, which I know a lot of people will be like, that is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard, Bill. And they've unsubbed and they're throwing things at me. There's a group of people outside with pitchforks and torches right now. But I just preferred Mortal Kombat 2 to Street Fighter 2 for its not only its button layout, but it's the way that, like, it had a dedicated block button, you know? I loved that. And then Mortal Kombat 3 was really good, and then I never played another one after that. and I was not like, I just don't like the grossness. And I will say this: they added in the
Friendship.
friendships. I was going to call them friendtalities. That's a missed. Is it still Acclaim? I don't know who owns it. Warner Brothers, maybe. That's a missed opportunity. All right, friendtality is a much better name. Anyway,
well, they had babalities where you turn the people into babies. So they had friendship and then babalities back in the day.
Yeah.
The Turtles were Injustice 2, not Killer Instinct, which was the game I was thinking. So yeah, it was an Injustice. But yeah, it's great. Like I agree with you. Mortal Kombat was way more fun back in the day. One of the arcades that I used to go to was a test place for Mortal Kombat 2 and 3. So we got to see stuff before it was officially released, and figuring out how to do the fatalities and things like that when there was no internet really. But on top of that, there was no other guide because it was a new ROM that had literally just arrived that day and they put into the board. There was so much fun playing Mortal Kombat 2 and 3 and even 1. That was one arcade. Mortal Kombat 2 would probably be the one, if I was to buy an arcade cabinet that wasn't a multi-game cabinet, that would be the one I'd want in my basement because I played so much Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah, that was my favorite Mortal Kombat. John Tingley in chat says, I think Mortal Kombat 10 had both the Xenomorph and the Predator. See, you can get all of these characters together in this, and I still, I just wish that there was, I'm a wimp version of Mortal Kombat, which just had, maybe the sweat from the Super Nintendo. Remember when it was released? Mortal Kombat was released on the Super Nintendo, and they had sweat that would come off instead of blood, and then you had to put in the blood code. The good old days.
Back in the day. Yeah. There's a lot of really great characters in Mortal Kombat 11, and seeing what is coming already, and then some of the stuff that's rumored. I think by the end of Aftermath, a year from now, the aftermath of Aftermath, you could say, we're going to have some amazing characters in Mortal Kombat 11. So I'm excited. I love Mortal Kombat 11. I just hate that I played it on Stadia. So maybe I'll have to pick it up or I hate that I played it on Switch, not Stadia. So I might have to pick up Aftermath on Stadia.
All right. So that's the end of the news section of the show. Now we move on to crowd play, and we got to start with all of these super chats that were coming in. Thank you very much. Oh, that's the wrong button. Thank you very much, everybody who sent in their super chats. We really appreciate it. So like I said at the beginning of the show, Sean Davies became a member recently. Thank you for that. Dave Winall sent in a super chat. They said, missed the first 5 minutes. Great interview for Kreta, and I appreciate that. Clive Illenden sent in a super chat with no message, as did Ray Sherrod. Anthony Talcott sent in a super chat. They said, hey, Google, please make it easier to add money to our Stadia accounts. I want to be able to give you money. I just want it to be easier to do so. What do you, I'm not sure I understand what they mean. What do you follow?
He might be an iOS user, where you can't actually use your Google credit. So you could go to the store and you could buy a $50 Google Play credit card and go to the website and punch it in, and it's fantastic. And then you go to buy a game and it's like the only choice that you have is credit card. You can't use your balance, which is annoying. So yeah, maybe that's what he means, because I hate that.
Oh, okay. I don't have any balance, so when I buy a game, I just buy it with my credit card like I normally would. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying, Anthony. That does make sense. Tom O'Fallon sent in a super chat. They said, has anyone heard anything about Uplay Plus on Stadia? Not yet. We know that it's coming because Yves Guillemot said something about that back at E3 last year. Phil Harrison mentioned it as well, which was the first time that we realized that people could have a subscription to something and it would also give you access. And our big question that we still don't have an answer to, as far as I know, because I can't remember everything, goldfish memory, but the big question that we have is, do you need to be a Stadia Pro member in order to take advantage of Uplay Plus on Stadia? And I have no idea, and we haven't heard anything, and it's going to be, I don't know. What do you think, Lloyd?
I don't know. I would hope not. I would hope that you don't need to be pro to be able to, if you're paying for Uplay plus, but yeah, who knows, right?
Yeah. Res TV just became a supporter.
All because I wanted to do this.
Well,
and I wanted to put the goldfish up because I'm not on the Stadiacast account, so I couldn't put it up. So I had to become a member so that I could use my goldfish emoji for you when you said you had goldfish memory.
all right. So I just real quick, there was, when you are a YouTube Premium subscriber, they give you free memberships to subscribe to other like to do what Lloyd just did, where he became a member here on the Stadiacast channel. And I was always afraid to do that because I thought that YouTube would be like, oh, look, he's trying to game the system because it's my account. You know what I mean? So I've never done that. And that's just, I don't know. Anyway, if you guys have YouTube Premium, you can subscribe, or you can become members here for free. I think, I don't know if that was a temporary thing or not. It's always confusing with YouTube because they never seem to get that stuff clearly spelled out.
Exactly.
All right. We also have some tweets that came to us. Travis McGuire says, you guys have to do the Monopoly match stream again soon. I loved it. I'm sad that I missed it live. Lloyd, are you willing to do another one at some point? Not today.
100%. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Even though I lost because of a last minute change of cards, and then I landed on my own place with a hotel.
Oh man,
or whatever it was. That was a hell of a lot of fun, and the chat room definitely made it enjoyable for us.
And speaking of multiplayer stuff, at some point, Lloyd and I are going to do a multiplayer Ember, either a stream, if we can work out the time to do that right, or we'll just record us playing multiplayer Ember and we'll post it as a video. And then Random Noob, thank you for becoming a supporter. We really appreciate that. You are awesome. Dustin Arand on Twitter posted using the hashtag Stadiacast, which I searched for but while I'm building the show notes, and they said, do you think we'll get something from Bioware soon, showing us a tweet from, who was it? It was Jonathan Warner, who I guess works at Bioware. They said, I enjoy playing games on Stadia, really just waiting for them to hit their stride. So do we think that Bioware games are going to be coming to Stadia at some point in the near future? What do you think, man?
I hope so. I would love to play some of the old BioWare games again, and not having to download them and install them on my PC or break out the old consoles. I would absolutely love that. I know that they are currently working on Anthem, the reboot of Anthem, because Anthem basically I kind of went off like a lead balloon. Didn't get a lot of love, but they're currently back at the drawing board, so maybe that'll be a good place for the Anthem 2.0 would be released on Google Stadia and not have to download a huge client to jump in there and play that game.
Isn't the publisher for Anthem EA, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, so with EA bringing games to Stadia, they said that they had 5 games that were coming to Stadia. They named 3 of them. So that leaves 2 unannounced games. It makes perfect sense that, you know, that Anthem would get rebooted and brought to Stadia, because now you've got a bunch of people who can play it that couldn't play it before because A, they don't have the right hardware, or B, they don't have a console. That being said, you know, Jonathan Warner could just be tweeting about Jonathan Warner, not necessarily as I'm Mr. BioWare. Sure, he works at BioWare. Maybe he owns BioWare. I don't even really know who he is, but maybe he's just tweeting as a person and not as a company. And so you always have to keep that in mind as well. Go ahead, Lloyd.
No, didn't have anything to add there.
Okay.
Just kind of nodding.
Gotcha. William Miller just sent in another super chat. They said, do you think we will have the ability for physical collector's items with future Stadia purchases? I've talked about this a bunch of times. I think that would go over really, really well, and I would love it if that happened. Be able to go into it. That's the thing that I think Stadia is missing, is you can't currently go into a store, see a thing on a shelf, buy it, and take it home. You have to shop online. And, there's a lot of these collector's edition things out there. Like, Lloyd is surrounded by collector's edition things behind him. I have on the others. I'm sure I have some collector's edition stuff back here, like this thing. This is a Ganon figure. I don't know if it came with a collector's edition thing or not, because I actually won it at a contest. But like this kind of thing, like you could go into a store, buy a thing like this, and then bring it home, put the code in, and start playing immediately without having to download anything. That's incredibly compelling. And having things on shelves, while it doesn't really help me, and it probably doesn't help Lloyd, because I do almost all of my shopping online. I hate going to a store, but there's a lot of people out there that still go to stores, and it would make a lot of sense for those people to be able to buy something in a store. What do you think about that, Lloyd?
Yeah, I mean, say the World of Warcraft comes to Stadia, and World of Warcraft does these crazy collector's editions. It would be amazing to get a Stadia version of that collector's edition, or ESO with the big collector's editions, getting the Stadia version of that, which has a code inside of it that you just plug in. I'm sure it's going to come at some point, because there are codes available. There's promo codes, there's download codes and things like that. All we need is just a big game to come out that has a huge collector's edition, and then they'll make tens of the Stadia version for the people that would want it, and probably have them made to order or whatever. And then you can get the game with your nice bust of whatever character it is on your screen.
Yeah, I think that would be fantastic. All right, that does it for us for today. Thank you very much to everybody who listens to the show on the podcast, which you can find over at anchor.fm/Stadiacast, or the people who watch the videos on YouTube, which you can find over at youtube.com/Stadiacast. Thank you to all of the supporters, like Trevious, who just became a member. God, I can never pronounce their name right. And thank you to everybody who follows us over on Twitter. I'm at Run Jump Stomp. Lloyd is at Dasme, Dasme. And the show is at Stadiacast. And if you want to get your thoughts on the show, tweet at us throughout the week at the hashtag Stadiacast. When I'm building the show notes on Sunday mornings, I open up Twitter. I do a search for hashtag Stadiacast. I sort by most recent tweets, and I look for things that I think would be good discussion topics. So thank you, and keep those coming. If you haven't joined our Discord yet, join the Discord over at runjumpstomp.com/Discord. There is a channel in there that is exclusive for supporters, so click on the join button down below the video if you haven't already. And if you're already joining Discords, Lloyd has an awesome community Discord as well over at rezd.tv/Discord. That's REZD.tv. He's even got me saying it like a Canadian. And then finally, the music that you are about to hear is Subterranean Kamikaze by Zircon. You can check out their stuff at zirconstudios.bandcamp.com. Lloyd, I'm going to see you, well, probably before next week, but soon.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to have to do some multiplayer. Thanks for coming out, everybody, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye. All right, Lloyd, have you been having trouble with your Go XLR with the sample buttons?
I have not. I've had my Go XLR stop working with my Stream Deck now. It's almost a useless feature to me. I have to restart. I have to close my Go XLR app. I have to open up the Stream Deck app, and then I open up my Go XLR app, and then I reconnect it, and then it works for about an hour, and then it stops working again. So I'm not impressed with that whole thing. But my sample buttons work, which I guess is a good thing.
My sample button, like just now, I hit that button, and the music took forever to start for some reason.
Yeah, all that stuff works pretty well.
And he cracked me up, man. And then there's like sometimes I'll hit a button, and I'm like, you come to my live streams on Twitch when I'm recording the show sometimes, and I'll hit the button, and the sound will start, and then it will stop, and then it will come back again. And I'm like, what in the hell is the problem here? I can't figure it out. It's driving me crazy.
Weird. That almost seems like a processor thing. Like your processor's pinned, but you're using a crazy GPU and you're putting all your encoding on the GPU. So I can't see why your processor would be pinned.
Yeah.
But that's usually with starting and stopping. That would be a processor issue.
And I just, I have a Ryzen 5 37 something or other. Like, it's a pretty good GPU.
Yeah. I mean, it shouldn't be an issue for you. But I've noticed over the last little bit, my GoXLR is just buggy as all hell. Like I can't, like I'm hitting all the buttons on it now, on my Stream Deck, and it's not changing any of my profiles on my GoXLR, which is just makes that whole feature useless. I think it needs a little bit more baking in the oven.
Yeah, I actually stopped using the change profiles Stream Deck stuff, and now I just use the changes that like you can set up multi-actions to say this now routes to this, and that works flawlessly. So like if I sit down and I want to put on my headphones and turn off my speakers, I have a button on my Stream Deck that just says speakers off, and it goes through and it takes all of my stuff and no longer sends them to line out, which is exactly what I wanted.
That's awesome. Yeah, I still love both of the products. It's just it's been buggy recently. I don't know what's happening there, and they haven't been as active on their Discord. There hasn't been enough or a lot of betas coming out, so I don't know what's happening with them as a company. I think maybe COVID's hitting them pretty hard.
Yeah, that's a possibility. It's still awesome. I'm very happy with it, and it's got fantastic preamps, which makes my microphone sound great. Lloyd and I, you have a Heil PR40 as well, right?
Yeah, I've had it for like 6 years.
Yeah, so we both have pretty much the same hardware, almost exactly, which is why our stuff sounds great. Somebody was complaining about our interview with Get Packed, saying that their audio was bad, and I was like, they don't have $1,000 setups for audio. Like, not everybody can do that. Their focus is on making video games, not on talking about video games.
Totally. It's just people stop complaining for no good reason. Like, what's wrong with you folks? Jeez.
Art by Committee has a GoXLR Mini coming. Hope it works okay. I'm sure it will. I've heard really good things about the Mini. The Mini doesn't have the
doesn't have the power
thing where it makes you sound
weird, or I don't think it has the sampler either, but both of those things are just, those are extra goofiness that aren't really worth it's worth it to me as a podcaster because I can hit a button, but I could have done that other ways.
Yeah, it doesn't have the powered faders as well. So when you mute a channel, instead of the fader dropping and then going back up when you unmute it, the fader doesn't go. So you have to actually slide the fader up yourself if you want to change the actual volume between things like that.
That wouldn't really bother me because sometimes I will mute a channel and then I'll go I'll instead of hitting the unmute button, I'll be like, oh, I'm just going to turn that up. And then I'm like, whoops, I forgot it's still muted. So then I have to do this weird unmute dance in order to get it to go back to normal.
Right.
But hey, that's just because, I'm a dummy. Anthony says that he loves my new camera. I'm looking healthy and vibrant. Lloyd, I like your hat. Oh, wow. Oh my God. Wow. They don't like my hat, Lloyd.
They don't like your hat. Apparently I look sick and slow, and I have a nice hat, but you look healthy and vibrant and you don't have a nice hat. So
yeah,
I'm not sure which is better. I think the comment about you is better.
It's just, hey, you know what? A good camera will make you look healthy and vibrant. That's really all it is. Because I've actually put on some weight.
I would love to have your camera. I would love it so much. I just don't want to invest the 4 figures that I would need to get that set up.
And to be honest, there's no way I would have bought this camera had I not got it super, super cheap. Because I was just lucky, and there happened to be a soldier who was deploying to someplace, and he was like, I got to get rid of stuff. I'm selling this. Like, it was on Facebook Marketplace. And I just happened to open up Facebook Marketplace to try and sell something. And I saw the camera, and I was like, honey, do you care? And she was like, no, that's a ridiculously good deal. They're usually like $600 for this camera. I got it for $2. It was insanely cheap.
Yeah, it's a crazy, crazy price.
They're saying that you look a little jaundiced. That's just, it's probably his color correction is always, like, you can't get webcams to do color correction very well. And there's nothing Lloyd can do about that.
Yeah, what I can do is I can go to my key light and I can change the color temperature up and down to try to do that. But then my key light has color correction, or has color temperature, and then my camera has color temperature and color correction, and then I have multiple bright screens in front of me. It's impossible with a webcam to make it look good.
Yeah, that's actually the biggest problem, is having these giant bright screens in front of us. That always really messes things up.
Yeah, the character on my hat is just it's a beer label from one of the local microbrews that I like. They have a beer called Rabbit Punch, and that's the logo of Rabbit Punch, and I really love that logo because it looks like old-timey Walt Disney stuff. So I bought a hat.
There you go. All right, Lloyd. I have nothing to do, but I'm going to enjoy doing nothing. So I think I'm going to take off. Are you going to continue hanging out?
No, I'm going to head out. I'm going to spend some birthday time with the family because I work tomorrow. So they have some plans for today. So that's going to be my day is doing birthday stuff.
Yeah. Cloud Gaming X says, try an OBS color filter for the webcam. What I would actually recommend, if you are a content creator at all, I would not do that. What I would do instead is I would make a custom LUT using something like DaVinci Resolve, which is free, and then use that LUT on your camera. And if you have questions on how to do that, join the Discord. There's a content creators channel, and ask me about it, and I can help you out.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
And happy birthday, Lloyd. I hope you have a great day tomorrow.
Oh, thanks, dude. I'll be eating lots of desserts over the next couple days, so that'll be good.
Yeah, my niece made zebra cakes, homemade, the other day, and they were delicious and very, very bad for you. And with that, I'm out of here.
Zebra cakes.
You don't know what a zebra cake is?
Before. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's like a Hostess or a Little Debbie thing.
Yeah,
okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever had those, actually. They're not super common up here in Canada.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe someday I'll ship some zebra cakes to you. Happy birthday from Anthony Talcott, man.
Oh, thanks, Anthony. Thanks, everybody. I hope everybody has a great rest of your weekend. And you too, Bill. Go get some rest. Later. All right. Thanks, man.